The bank air is too clean, too cold. My palms won't stop sweating and my phone keeps lighting up like a heartbeat I can't slow. Evan, Evan, Evan. Again. My throat tightens every time it flashes, like his name has fingers around my windpipe. Outside the glass doors, he paces in sharp, panicked loops, face drained, one hand raking through his hair. He presses his forehead to the window like a man praying. When he mouths, "Please," I don't feel love. I feel it, clear as a bruise. This isn't love. This is panic. A text buzzes from an unknown number. "You don't know who you married." My stomach drops. Through the glass, past his shaking hands, I catch sight of his car, an envelope on the passenger seat. White. Official. My name printed on it, and a signature that isn't his. My fingers won't unclench. They're curled so tight around the strap of my bag that my knuckles sting, like the skin might split if I breathe wrong. I stare at that envelope through the glass. My name, neat and black. And my mouth goes dry in an instant, like somebody poured sand under my tongue. 7 years. That's how long I've been Evan's wife. 7 years of learning the exact rhythm of his footsteps, the way he clears his throat before a lie, the way he smiles for strangers like it costs him nothing. We have a kid. A little person who thinks his dad hung the moon. And I've been the practical one, the one who keeps receipts, remembers passwords, puts money aside like it's a secret prayer. Not flashy, not reckless, just careful. Because life can turn on you. Because I watched it happen to my mother. Evan is still out there, eyes wild, hands lifted like he's trying to hold the world together. He used to be warm in public. Arm around my shoulder, jokes, soft kisses on my temple. Lately, he's been cold at home, distracted, busy, always stepping out to take calls with his voice pitched low, like our walls might testify. Lena. God, Lena was my person. My late-night text, my coffee dates, my "you're not crazy" voice. Except lately she's been too curious, too quick to ask about what's mine, too eager to smooth things over when my gut starts screaming. And then there's Miss Hart. The only calm thing I can picture right now. Clear eyes, steady hands, the kind of woman who doesn't get impressed by charm. One question keeps punching through my ribs, again and again, like it wants out. Why would a man beg after he thought he'd already won? Evan's mouth moves. Please, please. Silent behind the glass. My stomach twists, not with pity, but with something sharper. Something waking up. If you've ever ignored a gut feeling and regretted it, stay with me. Subscribe. Because what I found next didn't just change my marriage. It changed what I thought a safe life even was. The first thing I notice when I open my eyes is the silence. Not the normal kind, the soft, lived-in hush of a family mourning. This one feels staged, like the house is holding its breath. The coffee maker clicks, then gurgles, then sighs out steam. The smell should be comforting. It used to be. Now it just crawls into my nose and sits there, bitter and sharp, the way anxiety tastes when it turns into acid. I swing my feet to the floor. Cold tile. I stand anyway. In the hallway, Evan's side of the closet is half empty. Not obvious enough to accuse him, just thinned. Like someone quietly skimming a life. I find his tie draped over the back of the dining chair, careless. A silk stripe. The kind I bought him when I still believed gifts could patch over the places we were tearing. His phone is face down on the counter. It always is now. Face down like an apology he refuses to say out loud. I flip my own phone over in my hand, thumb hovering, fighting the impulse to check accounts. Again. It's become a habit. A tick. Like biting a hangnail until it bleeds. My son's room door is cracked. I can hear him breathing, small and steady. That sound is the only reason my chest doesn't cave in completely. Evan walks in like he's already late, not rushing, just moving with that controlled efficiency he's been wearing lately. He doesn't look at me at first. He doesn't kiss my cheek. He doesn't ask how I slept. He used to. Now he glances up, and the smile he gives me is too polished. Too quick. "Morning," he says, voice smooth. My skin prickles, a warning, a whisper under my ribs. "Morning," I answer, and my voice comes out normal, which feels like a lie. He pours coffee into a travel mug. He doesn't use a cup anymore. He doesn't sit. He doesn't linger. Like being in the kitchen with me costs him something and he's trying not to overspend. I watch him from the corner of my eye. His jaw flexes once, like he's chewing on a thought. We should really simplify some things, he says casually, as if he's talking about decluttering a closet. I turn my head slowly. What things? Bills, accounts, all of it. He waves a hand, airy. It's messy. We've got too many different pieces. If we streamline, it'll be easier. Less stress. Less stress. I almost laugh. Not because it's funny, because it's insulting. The stress isn't in the number of accounts. The stress is standing in the same room with the man I married and feeling like a stranger is wearing his face. I handle most of it, I say. I keep my tone light. Practiced. It's not that bad. Evan's eyes flicker, just for a second. A tiny crack in the mask. Then he's back to smooth again. I know, he says quickly, and you're great at it. Too fast, too sweet. Honestly, you're amazing. I don't know how you keep everything together. You're so responsible. His compliments land wrong. Heavy. Like coins tossed on my chest to keep me quiet. Because last week, he barely spoke to me for 2 days. Last week, I asked him if we could plan something as a family. Just a day out, the park, ice cream. And he shrugged like I'd asked him to donate an organ. Now I'm amazing. I swallow. My throat feels tight, like there's invisible thread wrapped around it. What's your idea of simplifying? I ask. He takes a sip, eyes on his mug. Just trust me with the paperwork. I can handle it. You shouldn't have to carry it all. There it is. Trust me. The phrase drops into the kitchen like a dead weight. My stomach turns, bile rises, hot and sour, and I force it back down. Because the truth is, I did trust him. For years. In ways I didn't even think about. I trusted him with my body, with my plans, with my future, with the softest parts of me. And lately it feels like he's been mapping those soft parts, measuring them, figuring out exactly where to press. I nod anyway. Small. Neutral. Maybe, I say, we can talk about it later. His shoulders loosen, just a fraction, like he's ticked off a box on a list. Yeah, he says. Later. He checks his watch, not his phone. He never checks his phone in front of me anymore. I've got a meeting, he says. I hear myself ask, client? He doesn't blink. Yeah. And my chest aches, a steady dull pressure like someone is pushing their thumb into a bruise. He grabs his keys. His tie is still on the chair. You're not wearing that? I gesture. He glances back. No, casual today. Casual. He leans in like he's going to kiss me, and my body reacts before my mind can. My shoulders tense, my stomach tightens, my skin goes cold. His lips brush my cheek. Light. Quick. Almost nothing. And then he's gone, the door clicking shut behind him like a final punctuation mark. I stand in the kitchen, coffee smell thick in the air, and stare at the empty space he left. It's the quiet distance in the hallway that gets me. It's not dramatic, not loud, just stretched. Like the space between us has been pulled thin and thin and thin until it's ready to snap. Later, when my son is eating cereal at the table and dropping little milky loops onto his shirt, I wipe them off with a smile that feels stapled to my face. Daddy working? He asks, mouth full. Yeah, I say, voice soft. Daddy's working. My fingers tremble as I wash the bowl. The water runs too hot. It bites my skin. I keep it there anyway, like pain might drown out the thoughts, because the thoughts won't stop. My small inheritance sits in an account my father helped me open when I was 19. He called it my storm money. He died 2 years later, and I cried so hard I thought my lungs would collapse. That money isn't some secret fortune. It's not movie level. It's just a cushion, a safety net. And the rental property, one modest little place, the kind with squeaky steps and stubborn plumbing, was my father's too. It pays a little income. It's stable. It's mine. My side business savings are smaller than people think. It's just what I stash away from late nights, from small wins. It's proof that I can build something with my own hands. And then there's the joint accounts. The ones Evan has always been happy to use, happy to draw from, happy to forget to replace when he goes a little overboard. All of it together is my spine, and Evan has been circling it. That afternoon, he texts me a heart emoji. Just one. My stomach knots. It feels like he's tossing breadcrumbs, trying to keep me following. I don't respond right away. My phone stays on the counter. Face up. Mine is face up. Later, when he comes home, he's carrying a grocery bag. He never does groceries. Inside are my favorite cookies and a bouquet of grocery store flowers. Thought of you, he says, and his eyes are bright. Too bright. My hands go cold around the bag handles. Thanks, I manage. He smiles. You deserve it. My heart thuds once, hard, because I know this pattern. I've seen it in friends' relationships, in my mother's marriage, in strangers' stories. Distance, coldness, then sudden affection. Love bombing. Like if he piles enough sweetness on top, I won't taste the rot underneath. That night, he showers longer than usual. I hear the water pounding against the tile like heavy rain. His phone sits on the dresser. Face down. Always face down. I step into the bedroom to grab pajamas, and my eyes catch the edge of his wallet peeking from his jeans on the floor. It's careless, unlike him lately. My pulse quickens, loud in my ears. I tell myself not to. I tell myself I'm not that woman. But my fingers move anyway, like they've been pulled by a string. Wallet, open. Receipts spill out like little paper tongues. Gas station, hardware store, coffee. Then, a restaurant receipt. Fancy. The kind with thick paper and a logo embossed like a warning. 2 entrees, 2 drinks, dessert. The date is circled in my brain instantly. That was the night he told me he had a client meeting that ran late. The night he came home smelling like cologne I didn't recognize. The night he kissed my forehead and went straight to bed without touching me. My vision goes narrow. The room tilts a fraction. Heat rushes up my neck. My hands start to shake so hard the paper crinkles. 2. Not 1. Not solo dining. Not networking. 2. My mouth fills with saliva like my body is preparing to vomit. I swallow, and my throat hurts. I put the receipt back like it burns. I slide the wallet into his jeans. I back away, slow. Evan steps out of the bathroom, steam following him like a ghost. He smiles when he sees me. Hey. My face is still. Too still. Hey, I say, and the word tastes like pennies. He doesn't notice. Or he does, and he doesn't care. He climbs into bed, pulls the blanket up, and turns onto his side. His back to me. I lie there staring at the ceiling, listening to his breathing even out, and my chest feels like it's full of glass. The next morning, my hands are steady when I pack my son's lunch. Steady when I tie his shoes. Steady when I wave goodbye. But inside, something is splintering. Because the truth is, I want to believe him. I want so badly to believe there's an explanation, a misunderstanding, a harmless dinner with a coworker, a surprise he's planning. But the ache in my chest won't ease. It sits there like a stone, heavy and patient. A few days later, Evan leaves his tablet on the couch when he goes to take a call. He's been taking a lot of calls. I sit down with my son's coloring book, pretending normal life is still a thing we have. The tablet screen lights up. A notification slides across. Consultation H. Family law. My breath stops. It's like my lungs forget their job. My fingers go numb. My scalp tingles. Family law. My mind tries to dodge it. It tries to rewrite it. It tries to turn it into something else. But it doesn't change. The words stay there, black on white, sharp as a blade without blood. Consultation. My vision blurs at the edges. I blink hard and I taste salt. Not from tears, not yet. From the way my body is sweating out panic. I set the coloring book down gently, like any sudden movement might shatter me. The hallway is quiet again. That stretched, thin quiet. Evan's voice floats from the other room, low and soothing. He's laughing at something. Soft. He doesn't laugh with me like that anymore. I pick up the tablet. My fingers feel clumsy, like I'm wearing gloves. The calendar is open. I scroll. There are other entries, not many, but enough. Meeting. Call. Consultation. My stomach sinks lower and lower, like an elevator with a snapped cable. I set it back exactly where it was. Exactly. Like the room might accuse me otherwise. And then I do what I always do when I'm scared. I reach for Lena. She answers on the second ring, breathless, like she was waiting. "Hey, babe," she says. "You okay?" The concern comes too fast, too polished. My tongue feels thick. I don't know. "What happened?" she asks, and there's a tiny edge beneath her softness. Curiosity. I swallow. My throat clicks. I saw something. On Evan's tablet. A pause. Too precise. "What did you see?" she asks, voice gentle, coaxing. "Family law," I whisper. Lena sucks in a breath like she's shocked, like she didn't already know. "Oh my God," she says. "Are you serious?" My hands start shaking again. "Why would he?" Okay, breathe," she says quickly. "Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's like, for a friend, or work. People ask lawyers stuff all the time." It should comfort me. Instead, it irritates something deep in me, like she's trying to tuck my fear back into a box. "Do people really schedule consultations for friends?" I ask, and my voice comes out sharper than I mean. Lena laughs, light, too light. "You're spiraling." My cheeks burn. "I'm not." "You are," she insists. "You always do this. You see one thing and you go full detective. It's not healthy." Not healthy. The words sting. Like she's slapping my hand away from the truth. My nails dig into my palm. I feel the crescent shapes forming. "I found a receipt," I say quietly. Another pause. "What kind of receipt?" she asks, and the interest is too immediate. "A restaurant," I say. "Fancy. 2 people." Lena exhales. "Okay, but listen. You don't know what that means." My chest tightens. It means he lied. "Or he forgot to tell you," she says quickly. "Or he didn't want you to worry. You know how men are." My skin crawls, because Lena is usually the first one to tell me to trust my gut. Usually the one who says, "If it feels off, it is." Now she's trying to sand down every sharp edge. "And your finances?" she asks suddenly, too casual. Like, "Are you okay there?" I blink. "What?" "I'm just asking," she says, voice sweet. "Because if he is, you know, planning something, you should know what's yours and what's joint." My stomach twists. "Why are you asking that?" "I'm your friend," she says, almost offended. "I care." But my pulse is loud, thudding, warning. "Everything's fine," I lie. There's a beat of silence on the line. Then Lena chuckles. "See, you're fine. Stop being paranoid." Paranoid. The word lands like a slap again. My throat tightens so hard it hurts. I stare at the wall, at a framed photo of Evan holding our son, both of them smiling like the world is safe. I feel something inside me shift. Because I'm not paranoid. I'm awake. That evening, Evan comes home with another compliment. "You look really good today," he says, eyes scanning me like he's assessing, not admiring. I'm in leggings, hair in a messy bun, smudged mascara from a day of blinking back panic. "Thanks," I say. He steps closer. "No, seriously. You've been glowing." I almost laugh again. Bitter. Glowing. I feel like a live wire ready to snap. He kisses my forehead. "I love you," he says. My stomach churns. I stand still. Let him perform. "I love you too," I say, because the words are habit, muscle memory. But inside, the words rot. Later, when he's in the garage, looking for something, I go to the junk drawer for tape. My son needs a school project fixed, a ripped corner reattached. The drawer sticks, as always. I tug. It jerks open. Batteries, rubber bands, pens that don't work. My fingers brush paper. A neatly folded document tucked under the tape rolls like it belongs there. My pulse spikes so fast I feel dizzy. I pinch it between 2 fingers, like it might bite. Unfold. Lines, boxes, formal wording. My eyes snag on a phrase and everything in me turns to ice. Separation agreement. My vision tunnels. My ears ring like a high, thin whistle. I scan down, heart pounding so hard I feel it in my throat. There's my name. Except it's wrong. One letter off, like I'm a stranger in my own marriage. My skin goes cold, then hot, then cold again. My hands shake so violently the paper flutters, loud in the quiet kitchen. Footsteps in the hallway. Evan. I slam the drawer shut so hard it rattles. My breathing is shallow. Fast. My mouth tastes metallic. The doorknob turns, and I stand there staring at the counter, trying to look like a woman who hasn't just found the blueprint for her own betrayal. The drawer is shut, but the paper is still open in my head. I can feel it there. Those clean lines, that wrong letter in my name. Like someone slid a thin blade under my skin and left it. Evan steps into the kitchen, smiling like nothing is wrong. Like my whole body isn't buzzing. Hey, he says, too casual, and he reaches for a glass. The sound of it clinking against the counter makes my teeth ache. Hey, I answer. My voice comes out steady. It shocks me. My insides are a storm, but my mouth plays the part of a calm sky. He leans his hip against the counter and watches me for a second. His gaze feels measured, not loving, measured like he's counting my breaths. You seem tense, he says. There it is, the first little needle. I'm fine, I say, and I keep my eyes on the tape roll like it's the most interesting thing in the world. He hums, like he doesn't believe me, like he's disappointed I'm not giving him a better show. You've been kind of on edge lately, he adds, and his voice softens at the edges, a careful softness. I worry about you. Worry about me. My stomach flips. Heat crawls up my throat, and my fingers squeeze the tape so hard the plastic digs into my skin. I swallow. Slow. Busy week, I say. Evan nods, like he's logging that, like he's building a file. The next fight starts over nothing. It's always nothing now. A dish left in the sink, a towel on the floor, the way I folded his shirts, the way I asked where he was going. He turns my questions into accusations, my curiosity into control, my concern into nagging. And when I finally crack, when my voice rises, when my hands tremble, when the words spill out too sharp, he pulls his phone out. Not obviously, never obviously. He angles it toward the counter, toward us. And my blood goes cold because I see the tiny red dot. Recording. My mouth dries instantly, like my saliva evaporates out of fear. You're recording me? I whisper. He blinks, innocent. What? No. But his eyes don't match his face. His eyes are flat. Alert. Like a man watching a door for police lights. I back up a step. My heart is pounding so hard it hurts. Evan, I say, and I hate how small my voice sounds. Are you trying to make me look crazy? His expression shifts, just a flicker of annoyance, then that smoothness again. I'm trying to protect myself, he says. Protect himself. From me. The words hit me in the chest, not like a punch, like a shove, like he's pushing me out of a place I used to belong. I want to scream. Instead, I breathe. In, out. I lower my voice. I choose every word like I'm walking across broken glass. From what? I ask. He sighs like I'm exhausting. You've been emotional. You jump to conclusions. You accuse. It's not fair. Emotional. My jaw tightens so hard my teeth grind. He's laying bricks, building a wall made out of my reactions. And he keeps going. A few days later, he sits at the table with a stack of papers, all neat, all clipped together like a school project. He smiles at me like he's doing me a favor. I took care of some stuff, he says. Just routine, adult things. He slides the papers toward me with a pen already uncapped. Ready? My stomach sinks. The pen looks like a trap. What is it? I ask. He taps the top page. Just authorizations, so I can handle the bills, the accounts, make it easier on you. My throat tightens. I glance at the headings, at the tiny print that swims if I stare too long. My palms start sweating again, slick. I can read it, I say. Evan's smile stiffens. Of course, take your time. But his foot jiggles under the table. Fast. Impatient. I flip the first page. Words like authorized user, access, transfer, beneficiary, flash like warning lights. My fingers go numb. This gives you access, I say slowly. He laughs, light and practiced. Yeah, that's the point. We're married. We're married. He says it like a weapon. Like marriage is a key that should open every lock. I set the papers down. My heart is doing something ugly. Thudding hard, then skipping, then thudding again. I'll look later, I say. His eyes sharpen. Why later? Because, I say, and my voice wants to shake, but I pin it down. I'm in the middle of something. Evan leans back in his chair. The air changes. The warmth drains out of the room. You don't trust me, he says softly. There it is. A hook. He wants me to grab it. He wants me to defend myself, to rush into the net, to say sorry. I stare at him, at his face, at the little crease between his brows that appears when he's annoyed. I trust facts, I say. His jaw tightens. He smiles again, but it doesn't touch his eyes. Right, he says. Facts. That night, I start making my own file. I don't call it that. I can't. If I name it, it becomes too real. But I start. Screenshots of his calendar entries when he forgets to close tabs. Bank alerts. Email previews that pop up on the lock screen. I email myself things from his shared household account. Nothing illegal, nothing hacked, just things he left open like he didn't think I'd dare look. My fingers shake as I do it, but every time I capture something, my breathing steadies a fraction. Control. Tiny pieces of it returning to my hands. One night, I'm brushing my teeth when I see it. The mirror is fogged around the edges. The bathroom light hums overhead. Evan is behind me, leaning on the doorframe, scrolling his phone while pretending not to watch me. His screen reflects in the mirror. Not enough to read everything, just enough to catch the icon. A little vault. A password manager app. My stomach drops so fast it feels like my insides slap the bottom of my body. He never used one before. Evan could barely remember his own email password. He used to ask me. Used to laugh about it like it was cute. Now he has a vault. And he turns the phone slightly away the second he notices my eyes flicker. I spit toothpaste, hands trembling so hard foam drips down my chin. I wipe it fast. I pretend I didn't see. But my skin is ice. Because vaults are for secrets. And I'm living with one. Lena calls the next day. Let's get coffee, she says brightly. Too bright. Like she's trying to paint over something. I hesitate. My gut twists. But I say yes because I need to see her face. I need to hear her voice without a phone line between us. I need to know if I'm alone in this or if my paranoia is turning into truth. The cafe is warm and loud, espresso machines hissing like steam vents. Lena hugs me tight, cheek to cheek, perfume sweet and familiar. You look tired, she says immediately. I am, I admit. She slides into the booth, eyes already scanning me like she's checking for cracks. So, she says, stirring sugar into her latte even after it's dissolved. How are things at home? My mouth goes dry. I pick at the edge of my napkin. Tiny fibers cling to my fingers. Complicated, I say. Lena leans forward. Tell me. So I do. Not everything. Not the separation agreement, not yet, but enough. I mention the fights, the way he talks to me like I'm a problem, the way he keeps pushing papers at me. Her eyes widen at the right moments, her lips purse. She shakes her head slowly. Men, she murmurs. Then, casual as a knife sliding in, she asks, if you did divorce, what would you do? My stomach tightens. I don't know, I say. Lena tilts her head. Like, practically. Would you stay in the house? Would you split everything? What's yours? What's his? Her words make my skin crawl. The question is too specific, too targeted. Why are you asking me that? I say, voice low. She laughs. Because I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you think ahead. I stare at her. The cafe noise fades. The clatter of cups, the chatter, the espresso hiss. Everything blurs behind the sound of my heartbeat. Help me think ahead. My nails dig into my palm again. I force a smile. A small one. I haven't thought about it. Lena's eyes flicker down to my hand, to the way I'm gripping the napkin like I want to strangle it. You don't have to be defensive, she says. Defensive. She says it like I'm the problem again. My throat tightens. I taste something metallic, like I bit my tongue. I'm not defensive, I lie. She reaches across and touches my wrist. Too familiar, too intimate. Listen, she says, lowering her voice. If Evan is planning something, you need to know where you stand. Like, do you have anything just in your name? Any property? Inheritance? Anything like that? My skin goes cold. She's not asking because she cares. She's asking because she's collecting. I feel it in my bones. Not really, I say, and the lie scratches my throat on the way out. Just normal stuff. Lena nods slowly, like she's satisfied, like she's placing a puzzle piece. Then she smiles. Good. Then you don't need to worry. My stomach twists with disgust, with betrayal that hasn't even fully formed words yet. When I get home, Evan's mother calls. She never calls me directly unless it's a holiday. My phone buzzes and my fingers go cold before I even answer. Hello? Her voice is bright, too bright. Sweetheart, she says, just checking in. I stand in the kitchen, staring at the window over the sink. The backyard looks gray. The tree branches are bare, claws against the sky. I'm fine, I say automatically. She laughs lightly. Good, good. You know, sometimes life takes you in new directions. People grow. They change. It can be beautiful. A new chapter. New chapter. My stomach drops. My hand tightens around the phone so hard my thumb aches. A new chapter. I repeat, voice flat. Yes, she says, like she's sharing a recipe. Starting fresh can be so freeing. Evan deserves happiness, don't you think? My vision blurs at the edges. Heat surges up my neck. Evan deserves happiness, I echo, and my voice sounds like it's coming from somewhere far away. And you do too, she adds quickly, like an afterthought. Sometimes it's better not to drag things out. Clean breaks, less mess. Clean breaks, less mess. She knows something. My stomach twists so violently I have to brace my hand on the counter. Is Evan okay? I ask, and the question is a test. A thin wire stretched between us. Oh, he's fine, she says too quickly. Busy, but fine. He just wants what's best. My mouth fills with saliva, sharp and bitter. What's best for who? I ask. Her laugh is tight. For everyone, sweetheart, for everyone. When I hang up, my hands are shaking so hard I can't even set the phone down properly. It clacks against the counter. I stand there breathing shallow, my chest rising and falling like I'm running, even though I'm not moving. That night, when Evan comes home, he kisses my cheek and asks about dinner like he didn't just recruit his mother to soften me up. I watch his mouth move. I watch his hands. I watch his eyes dart away when I look too directly. And something in me hardens. The next morning, I call Miss Hart. I do it from my car, parked 2 streets away, like I'm committing a crime just by seeking help. My hands are slick on the steering wheel. My heart is slamming against my ribs. My breath fogs the windshield. When her assistant answers, my voice almost breaks. I need to talk to someone, quietly. Miss Hart's office smells like paper and lemon cleaner. The chairs are too firm. The air conditioner hums. When Miss Hart walks in, she doesn't waste time. She looks at me like she can already see the truth pooled behind my eyes. Tell me, she says. So I do. The fights, the papers, the recording, the calendar entry, the way my name is wrong on a document I wasn't meant to see. My throat burns as I speak. My hands twist together in my lap until my fingers ache. Miss Hart listens without flinching. When I'm done, she nods once. These are red flags, she says calmly. The words land heavy, but they're also relief. Like someone finally naming the monster under the bed. Asset diversion, she says, ticking it off on her fingers. Narrative building, and forced signatures. He's trying to create a record where you look unstable and he looks responsible. My skin goes cold. He recorded me, I whisper. Miss Hart's eyes sharpen. He wants evidence of you reacting. He wants to provoke you. My stomach twists. Shame burns my cheeks. Because I did react, I did raise my voice, I did cry. I did beg him to just talk to me like a human being. I fed him, piece by piece. What do I do? I ask. My voice is small now. My throat feels raw. Miss Hart leans forward. You slow down. I blink. What? You do not rush, she says firm. A rushed move can backfire. If you do something sloppy, he'll use it. We document, we take legal steps, we protect you the right way. I nod, but my body is shaking. My pulse is loud in my ears. She tells me what to collect, what to screenshot, what to avoid, how to keep my communication calm, how to keep my hands clean. I leave her office feeling like I'm walking on a tightrope, like one wrong step and I fall into a courtroom where my life gets picked apart. In the parking lot, my phone buzzes. A bank alert. My stomach drops before I even read it because my body already knows. I open it. Request add authorized user, Evan, last name, pending verification. My vision goes white for a second, like someone flashed a camera in my face. I can't breathe. That's my inheritance account, the storm money, the account he shouldn't even know exists. My hands go numb. The phone nearly slips out of my fingers. My throat tightens so hard it hurts, and a sound escapes me. Small, broken, not quite a sob, not quite a gasp. I sit down right there in the car, shaking, staring at the screen like it might change if I stare hard enough. Evan is trying to put his name on my lifeline. And now I know. This isn't a marriage falling apart, this is a plan. The dishwasher hums like a low, steady growl in the dark kitchen, a machine pretending it can scrub things clean. I stand at the counter anyway, staring at paper and ink like they're a crime scene, and I'm the only witness left alive. My son is asleep down the hall. I can still picture the way his eyelashes rest on his cheeks, the soft, warm weight of him when I tuck the blanket under his chin. That tiny, trusting sigh. That's what keeps my hands from going completely numb. Evan is working late. Those words used to mean overtime, ambition, a future we were building. Now they taste like pennies. Now they mean doors closing softly, calls taken in parking lots, a screen angled away from me like I'm contagious. I spread everything out, printouts, screenshots, the restaurant receipt, the calendar entry, consultation, family law. The bank alert that made my stomach drop so fast I thought I might crack a rib. The separation agreement with my name spelled wrong, like I'm a typo in my own life. My hands shake over it all. Not dramatic shaking, the kind that starts deep in the bones, the kind that makes your joints feel loose, like your body is trying to fall apart in pieces. I press my palms flat on the counter. Cold laminate, ground yourself. That's what Miss Hart said. Ground yourself. Stay calm. Stay factual. But the grief comes anyway. Hot, thick, rising from somewhere under my lungs. Grief for the man I thought I married. Grief for the mornings that used to feel safe. Grief for the way I used to laugh without checking if it would be used against me later. And then the anger arrives. Quiet at first, like a match catching. Because I can see it now. Not the entire picture, but the outline. He wasn't just slipping away. He was arranging the exit. In my own home. Using my routines, my trust, my softness, my throat burns. I swallow, and it doesn't help. The ache sits behind my breastbone like a rock. I pick up the separation agreement again, and my fingers crumple the edge. I force myself to smooth it out, slow. Don't destroy anything. Don't give him a reason to call you irrational. I can hear Miss Hart's voice in my head like she's standing behind me, steady as a hand on my shoulder. Asset diversion is common when someone thinks they can outsmart you, she'd said, calm as a surgeon. But you can protect yourself without playing dirty. We do it clean. We do it documented. We do it legally. Clean, documented, legal. The words settle in my chest like a spine being built. I wasn't trying to destroy Evan. I wasn't plotting some movie revenge. I just refused to be erased. I wasn't taking from him. I was taking myself back. The sentence feels like a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. My phone sits on the counter, face up, screen dark, quiet. I half expect it to light up with his name. Half expect him to walk in and catch me with my little pile of truth spread out like contraband. But the house stays still. The dishwasher hums, The refrigerator clicks. Outside, a car passes, tires whispering on the street like someone slipping away. My stomach rolls with nerves, but my mind is clear in a way it hasn't been for weeks. Clarity is strange. It doesn't feel like peace. It feels like cold air rushing into a room that's been sealed too long. The next day, I move like I'm underwater. I pack lunch, I wash a cup. I answer my son's questions, I smile when I need to. But my body is carrying an electric current, and I can feel it in my fingertips. When I'm alone, I start the work. I don't call it revenge, I call it protection. I separate what's legally mine, what I can, the way Miss Hart instructed. I don't hide cash in mattresses, I don't do anything sloppy. I do it like a woman who knows she'll be watched. Because I am. I move funds into accounts solely in my name where permitted. I request statements, I save confirmations, I screenshot every step, my thumb trembling on the buttons. The bank app's bright screen makes my eyes sting. I update beneficiaries, the way you do when you finally admit the future you imagined is dead. My throat tightens when I type. It feels like betrayal. And then I remember who started it. I secure titles and documents. I pull the folder with my father's name on it, and my chest aches in a new way. Like he's gone all over again. Storm money, he'd said. He knew. He knew life turns. My hands are steady when I freeze my credit. When the confirmation appears, I inhale sharply, like my lungs are finally remembering how to work. I lock the doors of my finances the way I should have locked the doors of my heart months ago. The strangest part is how ordinary the steps look from the outside. A woman at a computer. A few clicks. A few calls. But inside me, every action is a slammed door. Every action is me saying, no. Not anymore. Evan senses it before I ever tell him. He senses it the way predators sense when prey stops limping. That evening, he comes home with flowers, big ones, not grocery store sad, the kind that cost enough to hurt. He holds them out with that charming smile that used to melt me. Thought we could have a nice night, he says. The smell of the flowers is sweet and thick, almost suffocating. My stomach turns. Why? I hear myself ask. His smile flickers. Why what? Why now? I say, voice quiet. Why the sudden effort? He laughs like I'm adorable, like I'm a child asking why the sky is blue. Because I love you, he says, and he steps closer, trying to press warmth into me like it'll stick. Because I've been busy. Because I miss you. Miss me. My skin prickles. My body doesn't lean in. It doesn't soften. It stays braced. He kisses my cheek. I let it happen. I stare past him at the kitchen sink. He pulls back and searches my face. His eyes narrow slightly. You okay? I'm fine, I say. He studies me like he's trying to read a document with half the pages missing. Then he does something that makes my blood run cold. He speaks carefully, as if tossing a pebble into deep water. Did you talk to anyone about money lately? He asks. The words slide into the air between us, perfect, specific, not casual at all. My heartbeat stutters. I keep my face neutral with an effort that makes my jaw ache. I reach for the vase with slow hands, like I'm a normal woman arranging flowers, not a woman with her whole marriage in a folder. No, I say. Why? Evan shrugs. Too fast. Just thought. You seemed stressed. Stressed. That's his favorite word now. Stressed, emotional, unstable, tools, labels, bricks. I nod slowly and place the flowers in water. The stems squeak against the glass. The sound makes my skin crawl. He watches me, then he brightens again, like flipping a switch. We should go away this weekend, he says. Just us. Reset. Reset. My throat tightens. I can picture it. Some cabin, some hotel, some place where there are no witnesses and no paper trails and no Miss Hart and no bank notifications. No, I say simply. The word lands heavy. Evan blinks. No? I can't, I say. Too much going on. His smile strains. Like what? I turn. Meet his eyes. I feel my pulse in my throat. I feel sweat collecting at my lower back. But my voice stays even. Life, I say. He laughs, a short sound with no humor in it. Okay. He reaches for my hand. I let him take it because I'm watching. His thumb rubs my knuckles. His touch feels practiced, like a performance. Then his gaze drops to my fingers, empty. My wedding ring is still there, but I can see him noticing details he didn't used to care about. He's scanning me for changes, for signs I'm slipping out of his grip. I pull my hand back gently. I need to start dinner. Evan nods, still smiling, still sweet, but his eyes stay sharp. That night, when he falls asleep, I lie awake with my phone in my hand, heart pounding softly into the pillow. Lena's name sits in my contacts like a bruise. I think about the way she asked about my inheritance, the way her curiosity felt like a hand in my purse, the way she told me I was paranoid. But her eyes were watching. I need to know. Not because I want to punish her, because I need to stop bleeding trust into the wrong hands. So I test her. It feels horrible, like swallowing glass. The next morning, I meet Lena for a quick walk, like everything is normal. The air is cold, sharp in my lungs. She links her arm through mine like we're still us. "You look better," she says, smiling. "See? I told you. You were spiraling." My stomach clenches. I force a laugh. "Yeah, maybe." We walk past houses and trimmed hedges, dogs bark behind fences. I let silence sit for a moment, then I say it. Soft, casual, like it's nothing. "I actually opened a new account," I tell her, keeping my tone light. "Just in case. You know, a little safety." Lena's steps don't change, but her eyes do. They sharpen, they brighten, like a camera focusing. "Oh?" she says. "Where?" I shrug. "Somewhere. Doesn't matter." "It matters," she says too quickly, then laughs like she didn't mean to. "I just mean, so you don't get overwhelmed. Is it just in your name?" I nod. "How much did you move?" she asks, voice playful. Playful. But the question sits there like a hand reaching. "Not much," I lie. "Just enough." Lena hums. "Smart." Her smile is wide, but it doesn't reach her eyes. We keep walking, and my skin feels too tight on my body, like I can't breathe inside it. When we part, she hugs me hard. "Love you," she says. My throat tightens. "Love you too," I say, and it tastes like ash. 2 hours later, Evan comes home early. He walks in with that too bright energy again, like he's already rehearsed the conversation in his head. He drops his keys on the counter. The metal clinks, sharp. Hey, he says. "I was thinking." I keep my face calm. I'm chopping vegetables. The knife taps the board steadily, tap, 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 like a heartbeat I can control. "What about?" I ask. Evan leans against the doorway and crosses his arms. He looks casual, almost bored. And then he says it, word for word. "So, this new account you opened?" he says, as if it's a normal thing he just happened to know. "How much did you move? Just enough?" My hand freezes mid-chop. The knife hovers over the cutting board. A hot wave rushes through my body, from my stomach to my throat, like I swallowed boiling water. My ears ring. The room tilts slightly, like my balance has been stolen. Evan is watching me, carefully, waiting for my reaction like he's waiting for a fish to bite. I set the knife down slowly. Too slowly. My fingers feel numb. My heart is pounding so hard it shakes my ribs. I turn my head and look at him. My face is still, but inside something breaks clean in half. Because now I know. Lena is feeding him my words. My friend is handing him pieces of me, and Evan is standing in my kitchen wearing that charming smile like a mask, repeating my lie back to me as proof he has eyes everywhere. My stomach twists with nausea. My skin prickles. My mouth tastes metallic. I swallow hard and my voice comes out steady, almost calm. "What new account?" I ask. Evan's smile falters for the first time. Just a flicker. Just enough. And I feel it, cold and sharp, settling into my bones. The net is real, and I'm standing in the middle of it, finally seeing every knot. My body stays in motion for the rest of the day, but my mind goes very still. It's strange how betrayal can turn you quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the kind where every sound gets sharp, where the world feels too bright. where your skin becomes a thin membrane and everything presses through it. Evan's smile keeps replaying behind my eyes. The way he repeated my words, my fake detail, like he'd plucked it straight from my mouth. My throat aches from holding back things I want to scream. I wash dishes, I fold tiny shirts, I wipe fingerprints off the table. I do ordinary mother things with hands that feel like they belong to someone else. Under the routine, my heart keeps punching, steady and angry. I don't call Lena. I don't confront Evan. I don't let either of them see the crack in me turning into something sharper. I go to Miss Hart. The office smells like paper and clean citrus again, and it hits me with relief so hard I nearly cry right there in the doorway. My knees feel loose. My mouth is dry. Miss Hart looks up and her face doesn't change. No shock, no pity, just focus. I sit down and the chair squeaks. The sound makes me flinch. I tested her, I say, voice low. He repeated it, word for word. Miss Hart's eyes narrow slightly. Good, she says, and the word doesn't mean good like happy. It means good like confirmed, like a diagnosis. My stomach twists, but the twist is different now. Less confusion, more direction. We talk in clipped pieces, short sentences, facts. I watch Miss Hart's pen move. Her handwriting looks sharp enough to cut. She drafts notice papers, formal, cold, clean. She talks about protecting my child, my home stability, my credit. She says financial restraining order, and my breath catches because I never pictured my life needing phrases like that. I nod anyway. My hands are trembling in my lap, but my head is clear. I keep thinking of my son's face when he sleeps. Soft, trusting, unaware. I'm not allowed to be messy. Not for him. Miss Hart tells me to keep everything in one place. A timeline, a binder, a story that isn't emotional, just undeniable. So I build it. At home, after my son is asleep, I spread everything out on the dining table like I'm setting a place for war. A 3-ring binder, plastic sleeves that crackle when I slide paper in, tabs, dates. The sound of the plastic is loud in the quiet house. My fingers smell like ink and paper dust. My eyes burn from staring too hard. I print screenshots. I label them. I staple receipts behind notes with the time and date I found them. I write down every sign this moment, every paper he slid toward me with a pen already uncapped, every fight that turned into him, accidentally, placing his phone on the counter. I don't write, he made me feel crazy. I write 9:12 p.m., phone recording on counter during argument, red dot visible. I don't write, he lied to my face. I write, restaurant receipt dated ____. He stated, client meeting. My stomach churns as I do it, but each page locks into place like armor. I can't stop picturing Lena's eyes in that cafe. The way they sharpened when I mentioned an account. The way she hugged me like she wasn't holding a knife behind her back. My jaw aches from clenching. I want to call her and demand answers. I want to hear her voice break. I want to watch her scramble. But Miss Hart's words press into my skull. Don't spook them. Don't tip your hand. So I don't. I plan. Not revenge like fire. Revenge like a courtroom light. Like exposure. Like consequences that don't require me to raise my voice. I set 3 goals in my head, quiet and absolute. Expose the scheme. Protect my child and my stability. Force accountability without letting them drag me into a public mud pit where they can point at my tears and call them proof. When I think it, my chest eases a fraction. Purpose does that. Purpose turns panic into something usable. The bait comes to me in the most disgusting way. Through Evan. He tries again with sweetness. He brings home takeout from my favorite place. He laughs too loudly at my jokes. He touches my shoulder when he walks past like he's marking territory. He starts calling me babe again, like the word is a spell. I let it slide off me. I let my face stay soft. I watch him. His eyes keep flicking to my hands, to my phone, to my expressions. He's measuring. He's waiting for a tell. So, I give him one. A controlled one. I suggest a dinner. A reconciliation dinner. The words make my tongue feel dirty, like I'm licking a battery. But I say them anyway, light and hopeful. Maybe we should have a nice dinner, I tell him, stirring pasta water like my wrist isn't shaking. Talk. Reset. Evan's face brightens too fast. Yes, he says immediately. Yes, that's a great idea. Of course it is, because he thinks dinner means I'm softening. He thinks it means the pen will finally touch paper. I smile and nod. Inside my stomach is a clenched fist. I set the night for Friday. Then I set my own quiet safeguards. My sister lives next door, close enough to knock, close enough to hear if voices rise. I tell her I'm having a serious talk with Evan and I might need her nearby. I don't explain everything. My throat won't let me. But my sister's eyes sharpen in that familiar way, protective and furious without needing details. I'll be there, she says. Text me one word and I'm coming. One word. It feels like a life raft. I make sure my phone is charged. I make sure my son is sleeping over at my sister's that night. Planned like a treat, like fun. I pack his pajamas and his stuffed dinosaur. He hugs me tight before he leaves, and my throat tightens so hard it hurts. Love you, Mommy, he murmurs. My eyes sting. Love you, baby. When the door closes behind him, the house feels hollow. Good. No little ears to hear their father turn into something else. Now I invite Lena. I do it with a smile in my voice that makes me feel sick. Can you come Friday? I ask her. Just for support. Help us talk. Lena's relief is immediate. I can hear it in the way she breathes. Of course, she says. I'm proud of you. This is mature. Mature. My nails dig into my palm. Thank you, I say softly. After I hang up, I stand in the kitchen and stare at the wall until my eyes blur. My stomach feels like it's full of stones. Friday comes. The day moves slow and sharp, like time has teeth. By evening, I've set the table like a normal wife, trying to fix her marriage. Candles, plates, napkins folded neatly. A bottle of wine Evan likes. I hate that I know what he likes. My hands are steady as I light the candles. The flame flickers, warm and innocent. It makes my skin crawl. A knock at the door. Lena arrives first, dressed like she's going to a nice restaurant. Lip gloss shining, hair perfect. She hugs me tight. You got this, she whispers into my hair. The words would have comforted me once. Now they feel like a hand closing around my throat. Evan arrives 10 minutes later with a smile and another bouquet. He kisses Lena's cheek like it's normal. Like they aren't co-conspirators. Like my living room isn't about to become a trap. They sit at my table like they belong there. I serve dinner. The clink of forks sounds too loud. The candlelight throws soft shadows across Evan's face. It makes him look gentler than he is. It's almost cruel. We start with small talk. A performance. Then Evan sets his fork down with a practiced sigh. I've been thinking, he says, and his voice is gentle. We've both been stressed. Maybe we should get some help. A mediator, someone to keep things calm. Mediator. My skin goes cold. I glance toward the doorway, and that's when I see him. A man in a blazer stepping into my entryway like he's been invited the whole time. A leather folder in his hands. My heart stutters. Evan smiles wider. This is Jordan, he says. He's just here to help us have a productive conversation. Jordan smiles at me like I'm a client, not a woman whose marriage is being dismantled at her own dinner table. Nice to meet you, he says. My hands go numb around my water glass. This is Evan's surprise. Documents, witnesses, pressure. He wants me cornered. Lena's eyes flash to mine, quick, almost excited, then soften into concern. She puts on her peacemaker face like a mask. See, she says softly. This is good. This is healthy. Healthy. My stomach churns. Jordan opens his folder and slides papers onto the table. Evan slides a pen toward me. The pen is uncapped. Always uncapped. Let's just get through this calmly, Evan says, voice low and soothing, like he's talking to a skittish animal. We can keep it friendly. Or, he pauses and his eyes harden for half a second. We can make it ugly. There it is, the threat, dressed in velvet. My chest tightens, my fingers tremble under the table. Lena touches my arm. Just listen, she murmurs. No one's attacking you. No one's attacking you. But my body knows the truth. My heart is slamming, my throat is tight, my skin is buzzing. I look at the papers, words blur. The room feels too warm. The candle smell mixes with food and cologne until I feel dizzy. I take a breath, slow. In through my nose, out through my mouth. I lift my gaze to Evan. His eyes are locked on mine, hungry and patient. He thinks I'm about to fold. He thinks the story ends with my signature. I set my hands flat on the table. My voice comes out calm, almost gentle. One question, I say. Evan's smile flickers. Sure. I tilt my head slightly, as if curious. Why is my name misspelled on your draft agreement? I ask. The air changes instantly. It's like the room goes vacuum sealed. Lena's hand freezes on my arm. Jordan pauses mid-page. Evan blinks. Once, twice. Too slow? What? He says. I don't raise my voice. I don't cry. I don't give him what he wants. I reach down beside my chair and lift my binder onto the table with both hands. It lands with a heavy thud. Plastic sleeves, tabs, dates. Evan's eyes dart to it like it's a weapon. I open it slowly. I slide out the separation agreement with my wrong name. I lay it in front of Jordan. Then I slide out the restaurant receipt, the calendar notification printout, the bank alert, one by one, like stones dropped into water. Each splash, silent. Evan's face drains. Lena's mouth opens slightly, then closes. Her eyes flicker, searching, calculating. Jordan's expression shifts from neutral to cautious, the way professionals look when they realize they've been invited into someone else's scam. I can feel my pulse in my throat, but my hands stay steady. Someone attempted to add Evan as an authorized user on my inheritance account, I say quietly. An account he shouldn't know exists. Evan's jaw tightens. And you've been recording me during fights, I continue, voice still calm, and pushing me to sign routine forms. Lena squeezes my arm harder. It hurts. Stop, she whispers, voice shaking. This is going too far. Too far. My eyes flick to her hand, to her manicured nails digging into my skin like she wants to hold me in place. I lift my gaze to her face. The betrayal is a physical thing now. It sits on my tongue like blood. I don't even need to say her name, because Evan does it for me. His phone buzzes on the table, a sharp, sudden vibration. The screen lights up, bright against the candlelight. Message preview. From L. She moved it. We're out of time. My breath catches so hard it hurts. The room tilts, my ears ring, and for one long second, no one moves, like the entire table is frozen inside that glowing rectangle. Then Evan's hand shoots out for his phone. Too late. I saw it. I saw everything. Evan's hand snaps for his phone like it's a weapon, and he's just been disarmed. Too late. The screen goes dark under his palm, but the words are branded behind my eyes. She moved it. We're out of time. My body goes cold first, not metaphor cold, real cold. Like blood pulling back from my fingertips. Then the heat hits, a surge up my neck, into my ears, buzzing so loud I can't hear the dishwasher anymore. Can't hear the candle flames cracking. Can't hear Lena's little gasp that pretends to be surprise. My mouth opens and no sound comes out at first. Lena's face is pinched tight, eyes shiny, already trying on her innocent mask. Evan clears his throat like he's about to speak his way out of a burning building. Jordan, the mediator, looks like he wants to be anywhere else. He shifts, uncomfortable, hands hovering over his folder like it can shield him. I stare at Evan's hand on the phone. The tendons on the back of it are tight, white. And something in me settles. Not calm. Decision. I push my chair back. The legs scrape the floor in a sound that makes Lena flinch. My sister's next door, I say, and my voice is so steady it scares me. My son is not here, and I'm done with this. Evan's eyes widen. Babe, don't, I cut in. One word, sharp, clean. Like a door lock clicking. Lena reaches for me. Please, just... I step away from her hand like it's hot. Evan stands up too fast, chair bumping the table. The candles shudder, wax trembling. He tries to smile. He tries to soften his face. He tries to become the version of him I used to reach for. But that version is gone. Or maybe it never existed. I think we all need to take a breath, Evan says, looking at Jordan like Jordan is the judge of whether I'm allowed to be angry. Jordan coughs, nodding awkwardly. Maybe pause for tonight. Good. Pause. Because the next part of this is not happening at my dinner table, not in my home, with my son's toys in the other room, with my heart pounding against memories I don't want ruined. I pick up my binder. My hands are shaking now, but I keep my grip. I tuck it against my chest like a shield. Evan watches it the way a starving man watches a plate being taken away. Lena's eyes dart to it too. I walk to the front door and open it. Cold air spills in. It hits my face like reality. Everyone out, I say. Evan's mouth opens. You can't. I can. I say, softer this time, almost sad. I can. Watch me. Jordan gets up first. He doesn't argue. He murmurs something about rescheduling, about professionalism, about misunderstandings. He slips out like a man escaping a mess he didn't know he was stepping into. Lena stays seated. She looks at me like I owe her something. Like my pain is inconvenient. Are you seriously doing this? She asks, voice trembling. A perfect performance. I stare at her. The skin between my eyebrows aches from holding back everything I want to unleash. You texted him, I say quietly. Her lips part. What? No, You texted him, I repeat, and the words taste like iron. And he saved you in his phone as L. Like you're not even important enough to earn your full name. That lands. I see it. Her chin lifts, offended, wounded. Then she pivots fast, like a dancer trained on guilt. I was trying to help you, she says, eyes wet. I was trying to keep you from ruining your life. My laugh is small, hollow. You were trying to keep me from keeping my life, I say. Evan steps toward me, hands up. Okay. Let's not do this in front of... In front of who? I snap, sudden heat ripping out of me. My furniture? The candles? The woman who sold me out? My chest heaves. I taste bitterness at the back of my throat. Lena stands now, smooth as a snake. You're twisting it, she says. He just wanted things to be fair. Fair? My jaw clenches so hard it hurts. I look at Evan. Fair? Evan swallows. His eyes flick to the door, to the street, to the world that might see him. His voice lowers. We can talk. Alone. No, I say. You've had enough alone time with my money. That finally makes him blink, hard. I point at the door. Out! Lena leaves first, shoulders stiff, lips pressed tight, still trying to look like the victim. Evan lingers. Of course he does. He steps closer, lowering his voice like he's offering intimacy, like he can still pull me back with softness. I didn't mean it like that, he says. The words slide off him like oil. I stare at his face, at the familiar lines, at the eyes that used to look warm. You meant it enough, I say, each word slow and heavy, to draft my future without me. His mouth opens, closes. He looks stunned. Not at what he did, at the fact I'm naming it. Please, he says, and it's the first time his voice cracks. We can fix this, I feel my stomach tighten. Not with longing, with disgust, with grief, with something that feels like stepping on broken glass barefoot and still walking forward. You're not begging for me, I say. You're begging for what you thought you could take. Evan's face goes white. He takes one step back, like the sentence slapped him. Then he's out the door. I lock it. The click is small, but it feels like a verdict. 2 days later, the begging starts. It begins with texts. Long ones, paragraphs that try to rewrite reality. Babe, I'm sorry. Babe, this got out of hand. Babe, Lena misunderstood. Babe, you're overreacting. Babe, please. My hands stay steady when I forward them to Miss Hart, when I screenshot, when I file. My body isn't steady, though. Some nights, I sit on the edge of my bed with my phone face down and press my knuckles to my mouth to keep the sounds in. Because even when someone is cruel, losing the dream of them still hurts. But the next morning, I wake up, and the anger is there again, clean and bright. I drive to Miss Hart's office with my binder on the passenger seat. The roads look the same. The sky is the same color. People are still buying coffee and honking and living their ordinary lives. Mine feels split into before and after. Inside Miss Hart's office, the air is crisp and controlled. Evan is already there when I arrive. He stands when he sees me. He looks different. Smaller. His shoulders sag. His eyes are red-rimmed like he hasn't slept. He tries to smile. It collapses immediately. Miss Hart doesn't offer anyone warmth. She offers facts. She lays out the timeline on the table like a map. Dates, screenshots, the dinner receipt, the family law consultation, the separation agreement with my misspelled name, the bank authorization attempt. Evan's attorney, some man with a tired face and a pen he keeps tapping, flips through it, lips tightening. The tapping stops. I watch Evan's throat bob as he swallows. Miss Hart's voice stays calm. This evidence makes it very difficult, she says, for Evan to claim she's unstable or irrational. Unstable. I feel the word like a bruise being pressed and then released. Evan's attorney exhales slowly. Evan, he says low, this isn't the clean situation you described. Evan's eyes flick toward me, wide. Like he can't believe the story he told is collapsing in front of him. Because that's what he wanted, a clean story. A narrative where I'm the emotional wife and he's the reasonable husband forced to leave for his own safety. Now the narrative is paper, timestamps, proof. Lena isn't in the room, but she's there anyway, like a ghost in every message thread. Miss Hart slides a printout across the table, a screenshot, the message preview. She moved it. We're out of time. Evan's attorney looks at it, then at Evan. Evan's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Miss Hart turns to me. Tell them about the test, she says. My stomach clenches. I don't want to talk about it. Saying it out loud makes it feel even dirtier. But I do. I told Lena a fake detail, I say, voice flat. A new account, just enough. 2 hours later, Evan repeated it. Word for word. Evan shakes his head, desperate. She. Stop! His attorney snaps, sharper than I expected. Evan flinches, and there it is. The humiliation, quiet and deserved. Not cruel, not public, not a spectacle. Just the moment a man realizes he can't charm his way through evidence. Then Miss Hart speaks again, and her words change the temperature of the room. Evan's recent actions appear consistent with an attempt to gain leverage over assets, she says, including assets that are not marital property. Evan's attorney rubs his forehead, frustrated. Because now the easy win disappears, now the shortcut is blocked. My accounts are locked down, my credit is secured, legal notices are served properly, there's no quick grab and go. And Evan's plan, whatever glossy future he promised himself, starts to collapse under its own weight. That's when the begging becomes real. Not romantic begging, not tearful love. Panic begging. He waits for me outside the bank 2 days after I moved everything into protected places, after the holds and locks and confirmations went through. After Miss Hart's paperwork turned my fear into structure. The glass doors reflect his face back at him. His cheeks are hollow, his eyes are frantic. He looks like someone who just realized the floor is not solid. He presses his hands to the glass like he can reach through it. Please, he mouths, and I feel nothing like tenderness, just clarity, because I can finally see what he needed me to be. Naive, quiet, convenient. A woman who would sign whatever he put in front of her because she still believed love was a contract. I stand inside the bank, my phone buzzing in my hand, his name flashing, again and again, and then, soft, like a confession, he says something I don't expect when I step outside with security nearby, my voice steady, my spine locked. I wasn't alone, he whispers. My stomach drops. His eyes dart around, terrified of being overheard. Someone coached me, he says, and his voice shakes. It wasn't just Lena. My skin goes cold all over again. Because in that moment, I understand something worse than cheating, worse than lying. A plan like this doesn't grow in one person's head. It grows in a circle. I didn't sleep the night after the bank. Not really. I lay in my bed and listened to the house breathe. The soft tick of cooling pipes, the distant creak of wood, the way the wind nudged the window like it was checking on me. Every sound felt new, like I'd stepped into a life that belonged to me again, and my body didn't trust it yet. In the dark, grief still came. It slid in quietly, wearing his old smile. The Evan who used to warm his hands on my waist while I cooked. The Evan who carried our son on his shoulders like the world was safe. I mourned that version like a death, because in my chest, it was one. My throat tightened until swallowing hurt, and I let the tears run hot into my hairline, silent, so I wouldn't wake my child with the sound of my heart breaking. But underneath the grief, steady as a pulse, was relief. Real relief. The kind that lets your lungs fill all the way down for the first time in months. The kind that turns your shoulders loose. The kind that says, you're not crazy. You were warned, you listened. My boundaries weren't cruelty. They were doors with locks on them. They were me deciding that love doesn't get to trespass. That marriage doesn't mean permission. That just sign it will never be a sentence that owns me again. I think about every moment my gut tried to speak and I tried to shush it to keep the peace. Peace built on silence isn't peace, it's surrender. And that begging at the bank? God, I can still see his hands on the glass, his face drained, his mouth shaping pleas like it meant something holy. But it wasn't romance, it wasn't regret. It was the sound a failing plan makes when it realizes the door is locked from the inside. Now, when I tuck my son into bed, I do it slower. I let myself feel the softness of his hair under my fingers. I let myself look at his sleeping face and promise him something I should have promised myself a long time ago. Stability, safety, truth. If this story hit close to home, like the video, comment what your gut feeling saved you from, and subscribe for more Betrayal to Justice stories.